Oops, we have a few. Kun Chai is joining as well, and Jervis. Okay, great. Wow, we have quite a few people in our Zoom.
Okay,
And
we are now live.
okay, great. So I project, yeah?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Let me just project. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Jasmine, and this is Alex, and we are both co-founders of Recommend Group. And Recommend Group is essentially Indonesia and Malaysia, and to be honest, Southeast Asia's largest home and property services platform. So we operate in only 2 countries, but we are already the largest platform that connects thousands of customers every month to thousands of service professionals as well, right, in these 2 countries. Let me just share screen so that you can see. Okay, so what we'll do is that Alex will take the first part of the conversation first, and then I will continue on.
Yeah, so sorry, can you hear me, right?
And
okay. Yeah, so our platform, as you know, connects home repairers, home cleaning, renovation contractors to homeowners. And basically it started off with a problem, like all, ideas always start from a problem. My problem was that my ceiling water heater broke and it was leaking all over the house into the bedroom. And at that time, 8 years ago, we didn't have a platform like this. So I just Googled and called the first guy, and he came, went upstairs, went up into ceiling, took out the water heater, and then after that, tried to charge me like 6 times or 7 times more expensive for the repair. So basically, I knew that I was scammed already lah. But really, that was the start of this idea. Really, what we were trying to solve was, the stress, the cost, and the uncertainty that comes with any kind of home improvement or home repairs. So the way to counter that is basically to bring in transparency and bring in trust. Essentially, what that means is that, you must have a good idea of what price you're going to pay. You should be confident that the guy who comes already has good track record, right? Here, people already say this guy is reliable, this guy has good quality. Yeah. So all these things should be taken away. And then you only need to worry about, inspecting the work after that. You don't have to worry about getting scammed. Yeah. So, you know the traditional way, right? If something goes wrong in your house, the way that we always used to do it is you ask your neighbors, you ask your family, anybody can you recommend, right? But when you call that guy, maybe they're not available, maybe they retired already, right? Or they're not, they can't take your job. So the way we solved it, the recommend way is that now, when it comes to repairs and cleaning, you don't even need to ask around anymore. You just tell our platform what time, where's your place, what day, what you need to be done, and you will get confirmation. So we've done that for things like aircon servicing, house cleaning, electrician, plumber, all these things already. You will get a confirmation very, very quickly. Yeah, and for those things that can be standardized, the price we will standardize as well. And of course, like I said, all these people that we bring on board our platform, we already check for you that, we verified their track record. So you can expect a certain level of quality and service. You will not get people who just start a company yesterday and then just out to scam people. Yeah. So the result is that, all our service providers have average 4.6 stars. Yeah, and a net promoter score of 50 to 60%. But even if anything goes wrong, we add on another layer. We will protect your home. We'll add in warranty. We'll add in insurance. From damages, theft, and liability. So all these things come together to provide our platform. And we started in Malaysia 8 years ago, 2014. Yeah, and sorry, even more than 8 years already. And then just 1 year after that, we opened in Indonesia. And in that time, since that time, we've already served 1.5 million homes. Every month, we get 25 to 30,000 leads. So what that means is that anybody who is requesting a job, small job, big job, on-demand job, or just want to get prices, we get 30,000 of these leads per month. In total, all of these jobs, if you add them together, the price of the jobs adds up to USD 10 million every month. And those that we can price, we can charge upfront, and around 15,000 of those jobs we are able to charge upfront and collect the customer payment upfront. Yeah. So right now we are pretty much the #1 position in both of the countries that we operate in. So the way that we break down our platform is quite simple. The first group is our on-demand services. And like I said, these are, the ones that generally you just need one person to come, you get confirmation. So it's like aircon servicing, electrician, plumbing, and we can set the price upfront if possible. Yeah, for home cleaning can be done, for aircon servicing can be done. But when you have a big project, that's when you use our home improvement marketplace, and you're not asking for a on-demand guy to come and do the work straight away, right? You are actually asking for prices, or you're trying to get an idea of who is the best guy for the job. So in that case, you tell us what you want, or you can even submit your floor plan. Then we will find up to 4 good contractors to contact you back and give you their price estimate. Yeah, it's not just renovation. I mean, it's like even like kitchen cabinet, carpentry, house painting. All these we operate on the marketplace model. At the same time, we also have our in-house small interior design team, but that one is we reserve for bulk projects, like maybe we work with property developers directly or Airbnb. Yeah, so that one is not the tech part lah. That one is just our own fleet. So the way the way that we've been able to set up our platform is to cover a lot of home services, any kind of services to the home, right? And like I said, can be small, can be big. So you see the way that we break it down is that some are high value, and that's on the top left. But some are high volume, and that is on the bottom right. But out of all the services that we offer, we are able to spread out the mixture of high value and high volume jobs. You can see the special group at the top right, which is high value and also high volume. And this one is very good for us because it is serving the companies. For example, you see the topmost one is chiller servicing, and that one actually is for cafes, F&B, restaurant, right? So if you are, let's say, Old Town or something, and you have over 100 branches, and there needs to be somebody to come and always service the chillers or service the aircon, because if the aircon break down, you cannot do your business. So that is high volume and high value. Yeah, but you can see that we've been able to spread out all the services. And what it also means is that we are not vulnerable to low demand and high demand period. Means that if it's suddenly very, very hot, weather very hot, okay, aircon will go up. But then if let's say it suddenly becomes cold, aircon will drop, yes, but then other things will go up. For example, if it's suddenly very cold, cold and raining, then maybe roof repair will go up. Or home cleaning will go up, or maybe if it's very hot, then people want to wash their clothes, but then suddenly washing machine repair goes up. So you can see that all these things balance out, and it means that we get steady demand throughout the whole year. Yeah, and because of our operating this platform for so long already, we are now the infrastructure for many other organizations as well. For example, at the top left, we already partner with Grab. It's not that we accept Grab Pay. We actually partner with Grab. That means Grab customer can open the Grab app and then order cleaning services. This happens in Indonesia. Shopee customer can open Shopee app and order home cleaning or aircon servicing. This also in Indonesia. Yeah, but at the same time, we also partner with like IKEA, Courts, Aeon. If you go to Courts and Aeon, you buy aircon, we are the installer. If you go to IKEA and you buy your furniture, we can assemble for you. And you can order it at their store itself. At the same time, we also partner with property developers because they also have their own community of homeowners. They also have their own app. Yeah, and those homeowners can use the Marsing app, the Sunway app to order services from us as well. Similar to the neighborhood apps like eCommunity and Jaga app. So we are the infrastructure for all of these people.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, Jess.
So, just to reiterate some of the points that Alex mentioned, we are not an aircon company. We are not a cleaning company. We are not a renovations company. But we are a platform for customers to come to us to look for any of these home services, and they have the trust that the service provider that we provide to them will be of top quality in their specific area and experience with customers like them, right? So it's a tech platform play, very asset-light. And as Alex mentioned, because of the breadth and the type of services that we have in any period, right? Pre-COVID, during COVID, after the lockdowns have lifted, and even now, right, our business continues to grow. Okay, it is extremely resilient, right, for that purpose. And whenever we detect market trends, our platform then adjusts accordingly. So the last few months have been very, very hot. So aircons have been selling, and aircons installation, aircon services have been flying. So a lot of our resources and our focus is in the aircon area. In sometimes when it's raining, for example, then roof repair become more important, washing machine become more important. So our technology is able to adjust and allocate our resources to whatever it is sensing that the market needs at that time, right? And so this kind of technology play, you will usually find a market leader in one or two markets. So in the US, Home Advisor along with Handy is the market leader, sort of like by far. And then there's large players like Thumbtack as well. And these players are like $2 to $4 billion in terms of valuation. In India, you have two very big companies, sort of like people that we look up to, the Urban Company, which deals with home maintenance. And then there's Live Space, which deals with home improvement. So these are all platform models. And in Australia, we have Airtasker as well as hipages. Again, one is for small jobs and one is for big jobs. But our platform is able to handle both big jobs and small jobs because our model caters for both. Okay, so essentially what we are trying to do is becoming the Southeast Asian equivalent of these players. And we already have two markets, Indonesia and Malaysia, which are actually a good portion of Southeast Asia. And we want to expand as well. So why invest in us, right? Why invest in us? The first one is that even being in two countries, we are already the #1 home services platform by volume, by GMV, by revenue. Okay, and this platform is able to grow very, very resilient. Even before the pandemic, during the pandemic, after the pandemic, we still continue growing. If I show you the charts later, you won't be able to tell when the pandemic started, mostly because the platform just survived and continued to grow despite all the crazy things that were happening. Okay, and the third point is that we have a tech platform that automates the acquisition, the retention, payments, and quality, which means that when we want to deploy a category, for example, home inspection, or during the pandemic, we deployed massage category in Indonesia, all we needed to do is change the configuration in the system, and then we onboard some service providers, and then already we have a marketing and sales funnel, the SEO, the SEM, everything is set up properly, the customer relationship management module, payments and credit, scheduling, quality, and training, right? So this platform actually is able to do that end to end without us needing to create yet another product or yet another system, right? And the aim is for us to get profitable in 6 to 12 months and continue to grow, not just 30%, actually more than that every single year. Let me tell you a little bit more about the numbers behind. Okay, so this is a reflection, Jobs Connected is a reflection of our marketplace liquidity. When we talk about marketplace, what's very important is that when customer has demand, we have service providers to actually fulfill the demand. And this is a reflection of liquidity in our marketplace. You can see that every quarter we get about 60 to 70,000 leads that we pass, customers that we pass to our service provider, right? A lot of it is in Indonesia. It has historically been the market in which we have the most volume. Well, Malaysia has 30 million, Indonesia has 300 million. So usually our volumes are also in the ratio of 10 to 1. Okay. And from the early days, our strategic sort of like decision was to focus more on the Indonesian side of things, because we saw that some of the economics were actually better, and I'll explain why a little bit later. So as I was mentioning, you cannot actually see where the pandemic started and ended, mostly because our platform continued to adapt itself. At the beginning of the pandemic, when the government says, okay, no more construction, no more home renovations, we straight away pivoted our business to focus more on the smaller stuff, the cleaning stuff, the aircon service, aircon repair, electrician, plumber, things that were allowed, right? And we continue to support our service providers such that our business actually accelerated during this time. So if you look at the jobs connected, and if you look at jobs completed, so what Alex mentioned just now is that we started off as a lead generation platform. We connect them already, the customer to the service provider, and then we let them transact offline. But since 2019, we have been pushing them to go online, right? And that timing was excellent because at that time, e-wallets became more prevalent. Because of COVID, nobody wanted to deal with cash anymore, right? So all the transactions were moving online. And today, I believe half or more than half of our transactions are actually transacted online. And this is no easy feat, yeah, because we are dealing with services that are very physical. There's a lot of face-to-face meeting of the customer and the service provider. To transact online is actually not an easy feat, but our system, our team and everything, the policies that we put in place actually ensured that we grow that metric 5 times in the last 4 years. Okay. And it looks like e-commerce, right? But this year, e-commerce actually dropped off, but you can see we continue to grow. Q1 2023 is our all-time high in terms of number of jobs completed. We closed 60,000 jobs in 1 quarter. And that is a lot, yeah. And that's a lot. If you compare that to any aircon installation or cleaning or any sort of this kind of businesses, our volumes far exceed that. And our team size is not large because we have technology. If you look at our revenue as well, you can see that, there's seasonality. You can see Q2 usually high, Q1, Q2 usually high, Q3, Q4, slow down a little bit. But every single year is an improvement on the year before. Okay. And you see quarter 1 this year, so much higher than quarter 1 last year. Right. So that is a testament of the technology, the brand, all the investments that were made over the past years. We are starting to see the inflection now. So now is a very exciting point. And our business, our gross margin, right, is so close to 90%. To get a gross margin, and some of you are in business, right? Especially Chai, you're in business. A business with 80-90% gross margin is very, very high. It is a software, it is a technology-driven business that has very little assets on the ground. But what our technology does is we control customers, we control service providers, such that we are able to earn our revenue from there. Okay. So again, Q1 2023, all-time high revenue, and it looks like it's continuing even after the Raya excitement. Okay, so we're very excited. This is a very, very good point in our growth. And post-COVID-19, we see a few things, right? The world is changing. How is it changing? The first one is that the home is becoming a lot of center of activity. Before the pandemic, people spent 5 days or 5.5 days in their office, and they hardly had time to spend at home. They stress out their office aircon. They don't dirty their house, so they don't need to clean so much. But now, most companies are actually spending 2 to 3 days at home. Still, a lot of companies, right? And so people are being accustomed to the fact that they will have to invest in their home. They do more designs. Their home aircon is much nicer. Their home fridges are a lot bigger, right? So the home is becoming center of activity. So all the service providers that used to do office aircon maintenance now are fragmenting and coming to the home, right? And they're looking for new vendors and all of that. So lots of excitement there. That's why you see our growth going up. The second one is businesses this year, very uncertain, right? Nobody knows what 2023 will bring. So they don't want to have their own installers. They don't want to have their own maintenance team. They try to keep their team lean. So they outsource all these things to us instead. So for example, we are working with Quartz and Aeon now. Instead of managing these installers on their own, they are coming to us, sitting on top of our platform so that they can put the jobs into our platform and have our technology manage all these service providers all over the city, right? Now we cover the whole of Peninsula Malaysia. We will start doing East Malaysia soon as well. because what was previously done on G Sheets, WhatsApps, and crazy stuff like that is now being done automatically on the platform. Okay. The third one is that workers now prefer a flexible based jobs. Previously, everybody was working full time. Nobody had time for side income, side hustle. But now a lot of people have side hustle. So a lot of our categories like cleaning, for example, you have mothers doing only half day cleaning, right? They drop their kids at school, they do half day, they pick their kids up from school. So a lot of people are doing side hustles now, and our platform is great for them because they can charge per job, they can get paid on the day itself, and they are able to supplement their home income as well. So a lot of trends is pushing our model forward. And what is our vision, right? What are we trying to do? Okay. So if you look at in the middle, right, the recommend box, really we are a service platform to enable transactions between the customers on top and the service providers at the bottom. So service providers, it can be service companies, 5 to 10 individuals, sometimes 20 to 50. And individual technicians, right, will join our platform, and they don't need to have all, the entire office, entire like suite. They don't have admin staff, payments, gateway, all that stuff. They can get all these things on our platform. So the moment they list their business profile and create their business profile, immediately they have a marketing and sales funnel. Their SEO will start to grow. Every time they complete jobs on our platform, their SEO continues to grow because the page becomes more and more powerful. They have a place to keep all their customers. They can message their customers and all of that. Payments and credits, they can take prepayments, post payments, recurring payments, all sorts of payments, split payments as well. Okay. They have a scheduling, a calendar, so that they can manage their team members. One boss sitting there can manage 5 to 10 teams because they can see where their locations are, whether or not they pick up the jobs, that sort of thing. And they're able to collect reviews as well. So if they got 5 team members, they can see each team member, what is their rating? What's the rating that the customers give them? So in a way, you can run a small business 100% on our platform without needing any other tools. And when customers come to us, and customers come to us from a lot of different channels, the first one is our recommend web and app. Our app has been increasing in terms of the performance, in terms of, the downloads and all that. We have super app partners as well. Grab, Shopee, Boost, we have like our retail partners as well, right? Outlets and retailers. We have Courts, Aeon, IKEA. In Indonesia, we have Modena. We have all our B2B partners as well. And we have also property agents. I know some of you are on our platform. Property agents actually use us to get services from their customers, because we also provide a bit of incentive to them as well, right? Some referral fees. So in that case, they're able to benefit from introductions, right? So that's why a platform is very powerful, and we can track very easily what is the final job value, right? So, and we can report that. And so when we process all these transactions over our platform, we are collecting a lot of data. And this data enables us to really understand our customers well and really understand our service providers well. So we can provide some ancillary services to them. One of the things is materials and product supply. So we're very, very excited now about aircons, for example. Everybody's buying aircon, right? We are able to sell you aircon, help you install the aircon, and also service your aircon for as long as you want us in your house, right? We are able to do extended warranty because we both do installation and service and repair as well. So we're able to support that. And being an all brand sort of like repairer network. And because we understand our service providers very well, we can then offer SME financing as well as customer financing. So we are building a home ecosystem. Anybody who wants to do anything in their home or a renovation, or they want to maintain their home, when they use our platform, they can realize so many different benefits from being associated with us, right? And the 3 things and why we are raising funds this year is because we see an inflection, as you can see, right? In terms of the revenue, there's an inflection. So we are very excited. We want to step on the pedal. We want to grow. The first one is strengthen B2C. There's a lot of things that we are doing in B2C that will be very revolutionary. It's the first time anyone is doing this. The first one is the algorithm for allocating jobs. So our technology, our algorithm is very smart in terms of allocating the right service provider to you. Previously in, our old platforms or, old technologies, they were just assigned by location and I don't know, maybe some criteria, right? So for performance, for example, our algorithm can allocate based on performance of a service provider within a specific area in the last 30 days, which means that if a service provider is very focused on servicing Bangsa residents and Bangsa residents has rated him very, very well in the last 30 days, then we will allocate him to you. It's good for you because he's familiar with the layout and the problems in the Bangsa apartments. At the same time, it's good for him because he does not need to travel very, very far. So he can do many, many jobs in a day. Now, in Malaysia, this is valuable. In Indonesia, it is 5 times more valuable because the traffic there is terrible, right? So everybody wants to try to optimize in order not to spend so much time in traffic, and our technology allows them to do that. The second one is that the customer user experience, right? So for example, what is unique about services is that sometimes very hard to price the job. Say if somebody say, hey, my washing machine is spoiled, how? And then we'll be like, how? And then the service provider arrived there and they say, actually it's this kind of price. And then sometimes the customer is a bit shocked because they didn't expect that, right? So what our technology is trying to do is to estimate the price of the job. So if you tell them it is a Samsung machine or a Electrolux washing machine, the light cannot turn on and the washing drum is making a noise, our technology can actually look for all the previous cases, look at what the service providers were quoting to the customers and all that, and tell you, I don't really know what the problem is, but from my previous experience, it is 250 to 310 ringgit on average. So the customer is able to say, okay, I understand. So when they get a quote, they also understand, okay, it cannot be so far from this because that is what the AI is telling you, this roughly this kind of price. We are going to build upon it by making sure that all the invoices and all the quotations all get pumped into our AI machine so that we are able to narrow the range and tell you roughly 250 to 270 ringgit. And we are the only platform that is able to do that because we have so much data. Okay, so that's one way that we're using AI. The other way we are using AI is to understand the service provider really well. So for example, if you're trying to choose an interior designer, right, and you have certain expectations, certain preferences, and you want to know, actually, this interior designer ngam for me or not? Is it in terms of the style, in terms of the kind of customers that this interior designer serves? Is it like people like me and my social network or not? Yes, our technology can tell that because we integrate with Facebook, we integrate with location, we know who you are, and we know who the service provider is. So we're able to give you so much context in terms of matching. And we're also able to then retain you to the system because when the service provider quote to you, we can tell you, this quote is roughly too high, or this quote is, on the low side, right? So you have to be aware of these sort of things. So we are strengthening our B2C stickiness and retention by providing you information to make sure that you are always served by the best service provider and also you are not overcharged. Okay, so that's very important. Sounds very complex, but actually we already have the data to do it. So the team is actually working on it now. Okay. Second one is B2B, right? We are very excited about B2B, mostly because when we have one partner like Quartz, for example, then we get so many jobs, right? We don't have to keep attracting customers. They actually pass the customers over to us for us to do. The good thing about B2B is that no acquisition costs because the partner passes them to you. The not so good thing is that the payment terms is obviously for B2B a bit longer. So that's why we are raising funds, because as we are growing fast, we need to make sure that we can manage the cash flow, right? And we are building some technology around that to automate the cash flow as well, to make sure that we always have enough fuel, right, to fuel our growth. Okay, so that's the second one about B2B. In Indonesia, we are taking up big contracts actually, like Moderna and all that, and the volume is very high. So we need to make sure that we have enough fuel as well to fuel our growth. The third one is that repair network. This is a little bit more experimental, but we are serving largest network of appliance repairers, for example, so that no matter whether you have a Samsung, Electrolux, Hitachi, or whatever, our service providers can repair your device. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do. Essentially, it is two things. It is technology working very, very hard with training, right? And our technology converts, retains the customer, retains the service provider, right? Give them incentive to stay on the platform. And the training part of it ensures that as we grow from one city in Malaysia or Indonesia to another city, we have a network of business partners, right? A bit like a community manager, or you can say like, MLM boss that's able to acquire cleaners, aircon servicemen, masseurs across Indonesia and across Malaysia, right? And they train these people on our quality certification. So we are able to grow our footprint, grow our business without needing to plant a team in every single city, right? So that's very exciting, right? And imagine in the future, they could be acquiring all sorts of different categories. So we make all these people small business people so they can help us grow across the country. Okay. So B2B, I mentioned earlier, provide installation services for home electrical appliances. So Moderna, Quartz, Aeon. We sell service packages to homeowners as well through the same retailers. Okay. So if you go to Quartz today and you buy a mattress, it's called Kaimin. The mattress actually comes with servicing one. So you buy a mattress and every 6 months, I think 6 months, we will come to your house and clean your mattress for the next 2 years. So in a way, you have not just a product, but it also packages with the cleaning part of it. Okay, so that's the exciting thing we're doing in B2B. And repair network, we are trying to make Malaysia cool again by focusing on the aircon value chain. And what we can do is to support your aircon end to end for the longest lifetime of the aircon, right? So those are some of our plans, right? So we're very excited about what's going ahead. And right now we are not profitable yet, but we will be profitable in 6 to 12 months. We are making very, very good trajectory, and definitely, on track, right, to achieve this by sort of like mid-2024, if not earlier. Okay, so break even in 2024. And how this investment will work, right, is a little bit unique. So, might want to really listen here. So we are a company that is headquartered in Singapore. Recommend Technologies Private Limited, RTPL. Okay, and we have 3 subsidiaries, 2 subsidiaries in Malaysia and 1 subsidiary in Indonesia. The subsidiaries in Malaysia, one of it take care of the marketplace, so home maintenance, home improvement marketplace, which means it's all third party. And then Recommend Interiors is our interior design company. Okay, so these 2 companies are fully owned by us. In Indonesia as well, we have a fully owned company. It's not a partnership or whatever, it's fully owned. We have a co-founder, Anthony, who's based in Indonesia, and he takes care of all the business in Indonesia. Okay, so because Pitch In is a Malaysian-based ECF platform that is regulated by Bursa. So, sorry, is it Bursa? No, not Bursa, sorry, Securities Commission. They actually do the due diligence on us, right? So I've got to answer like piles and piles of questions, all the financials audited, they look through all our key contracts, all our ESOP, everything, really, all our shareholder agreement, everything, okay? We will be issuing shares in our Malaysian subsidiary, which is RTSB, Recommend Technologies Sdn Bhd. And in 6 months, we will then do a swap. 1 share in RTSB to 1 share in RTPL. So if we are issuing 38,343 shares over here, we are then, we'll be swapping that over to RTPL. So the shares that you own will be in the head company, the HQ company, which is then benefiting from the growth in Malaysia as well as the growth in Indonesia. So if you are interested in seeing where Indonesia is going, and to be honest, Indonesia has super a lot of potential, 300 million population, young, very young, younger than I think 25 to 30 years old on average, their population size, very fat middle income, right, and growing as well. You should definitely invest, because there are very few. I can't think of any actually. I can't think of any Malaysian startups that have managed to become the #1 player in Indonesia. Oh, except Grab. Okay, so we are one of the very few. Okay, so we want to be the pride of Malaysia, which is why we are raising here rather than anywhere else. Okay, that's our aim. So how it'll work, the minimum investment we're accepting is 1 million. So on Pitch-in, we are accepting minimum 1 million, and you can invest up to 5 million. Obviously, that you don't have to invest the whole thing lah. The minimum investment size is 4,290 per lot. You can get 1, 2, 3 lots. So it'll be 4,000 something, 8,000 something, 12,000 something, that sort of thing. Our largest investor invested 200 something thousand, right? In our campaign. So that is we're really honored for that, for that trust that he's given in us. But that is how much confidence that investors have in our ability to execute, right? So the percentage of ownership you will have in the head, the holding company is 2.2% at minimum, right? So that is what we are raising. Okay. And if you are our customer or our service provider, there's additional incentive as well. If you invest at least 10,000 ringgit, then you'll get 500 in credit, so you can spend on any services within our platform. If you're a service provider, then you'll get extra credits as well, and we will put you as priority as well, assuming that you pass our priority bar, right, to be a priority service provider. So come and support us, because that will really help us grow. Okay, so then what is the return, right? If you invest at this point around 6 times revenue, right? Our revenue last year in 2022 is 1.3 million. This year it will be closer to 2 million. That's how much we are growing. We are planning to raise a Series B round in 6 to 12 months. And assuming that the revenue increases, the valuation, the multiple increases as well, you will get some exit, because we will ask for for the next round to allow the pitch-in investors to exit at that point. So you can choose to, you don't have to, but you can. That is one way. But we obviously hope that you will hang on, support us until we either IPO or get bought out, right? We have people approaching us at this point, but we do not feel that now is the right time to either be acquired or even IPO, because the markets right now is very unstable. Even if you get acquired, the valuations are not the best. So we're waiting for valuations to recover. And at that time, we will be the largest player in the whole of Southeast Asia, probably 3 or 4 markets already. So I think the valuation that we'll be able to command is a lot higher. Right now, we are going for very conservative valuations, right? So there is definitely upside there. Nothing is guaranteed in life. Nobody has a crystal ball. But if you look at where we are, we spent 8-9 years, building this thing. We are number 1 in any market that we operate in, right? And a team that is very solid, that has worked together for years, and has managed to sustain, even though many of our contemporaries or many of our competitors have not managed to sustain, but we have managed to do that. This is something I feel will bring pride to Malaysia. So who is the management team? I'm the lady in the middle. My background is in consulting. So I spent the first 10 years of my career in Bain & Company, which is one of the top 3 consulting companies in the world. I focus on strategy and helping companies like Mondelez, companies like AIA, and even local government entities like EPF, Post Malaysia, Maybank, and all these big companies transform their technology as well as strategy, right? And my specialty at that time is expanding across Southeast Asia. So I spent a long time in Indonesia. I know the market very well. I understand Indonesian, as well as Thailand. I spent some time there. Spent some time in Singapore, living there, as well as some parts of Hong Kong, as well as East Africa. So been living in different places in the world, and I understand emerging technologies very, very well. Alex, maybe Alex, you can introduce yourself.
Oh, I spent 3 years as a software developer doing enterprise solutions, mainly for Singapore government. Then after that, I moved to marketing for technology companies. I spent 10 years doing that. So now I combine marketing as well as technology development. So, that's the areas that I handle right now.
So Alex is that magical unicorn of technology plus marketing, someone that is really, really experienced in this space. And because of Alex's expertise in terms of SEO, organic reach, being able to build trust through content marketing, have to say that our platform has the best organic reach of all our competitors, actually, which is why a lot of our customers come in, we don't actually have to pay for them, right? So that's really great. And then JB and Chloe. JB takes care of growth and product in Malaysia, and Chloe takes care of marketplace. So between the both of them, they've been with us for like 6-7 years, and they know the product really, really well, right? So our team is pretty much run by the team who created it almost at the beginning, right? So it's like very much founder mindset. We're still very much like founding team mindset, experiment, do things lean, and we don't have the big company, fat cats thing around, that sort of mindset, don't have. Okay. On my left is Anthony, who is, sorry, on your left is Anthony, who is our co-founder based in Indonesia. Anthony is a growth and marketing hacking expert. He was in Rocket Internet, so he helped Lazada and some of the Bobo, I think, in the early days to grow their business. So he is very familiar with marketplace technologies and has been super instrumental at growing the Indonesia business. On the left guy, the guy wearing the batik, is Henry Jawinoto. He is our Indonesia country general manager, and he also has stake in the company. Okay, most of them do actually. And Pak Dani takes care of B2B. You can see the white hair, right? So takes care of B2B as well as our finance. And Pak Bayu on the left-hand side, perhaps the most important guy of all, is our head of technology. Our technology team is actually based out of Bandung, Indonesia, because our major part of our business is in Indonesia. And also Bandung has Institute Technology Bandung, which is churning out some of the best engineers and the most best attitude, lowest cost, right? That's why we place our development team there. Okay. So essentially, right, we are a technology company that is really changing the service industry by being able to be the largest facilities company with zero staff. We don't have any staff in the maintenance and the facilities management, right? But yet our technology is able to adapt to changing times, able to control customers' incentive and service providers' quality as well, in order to provide a trusted platform for people to buy and sell services. We have a lot of plans ahead, so many adjacencies where we can expand to. And that's why we are raising a round now, so that we are able to prepare ourselves better for the Series B raise. And this will also position us very well to break even within the next 6 or 12 months. So yeah, so this business is it's going to be here to stay. Okay. So I'm going to reduce the screen for now to see whether anybody has any questions, and then I can turn it on later. Any questions? Let me see. Ha ha ha, make Malaysia cool again. Oh, thanks, Veronica. Hope you're doing well. Are there any questions from anyone? Please just feel free to type your question or just unmute and ask your question, because we love answering questions. Hey, Guan Leong. Hi. Hi. Wow, you look like someone from a movie there, like an astronaut or something here. Any questions? Javis, CB, Veronica, Chrissy? Any questions from anyone? I have someone without a name here. I cannot see the name. Oh, Kun Chai. Okay. Any questions, Kun Chai? Yeah, no, yeah. Okay. Alex, any questions from social media? Anybody who would like?
No, nothing at the moment.
Hi, Kun Chai.
Hi. Yeah. I don't have any question. Your presentation is very good. I will contact back to you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Kun Chai. So yeah, so we're very excited about this model, certainly. And knowing that we can operate in a market like Indonesia, which is quite similar actually to countries like Philippines, Vietnam, and Thailand actually. And that we also have a model in Malaysia, which is quite similar to what we would deploy in Singapore. We feel that this is a very good platform to expand to every single city in Southeast Asia. Well, we probably don't want to be in every single one. There are some markets that are too small, but our technology is ready for us to expand without needing serious enhancements, right? And yeah, so that's what we
There's a question from Veronica.
Oh, you mentioned that you are collecting data. How else can you monetize this data? Oh, that's such a great question. Okay, so the few ways that we can monetize this data is like this. Okay, if you look at this screen over here, what data do we collect? Okay, firstly, we collect data of homeowners. If you are looking for a database of middle to high income people in the whole of Malaysia, we probably have the best data. The reason is because when people request with us, we know their budget, we know where they live, we know how many rooms their house have, right? And we have their social media profile. So we are in the best position to figure out whether this customer is high quality, low quality, high intent, low intent, right? So that's one thing. The second one is that we understand our service providers as well. So if you're thinking about service providers, right, most of them probably don't have very good financial track record and all that. But we know our service providers. We know what time in the morning they get up to work. We know what their rating and reviews are. We know how quickly they resolve issues when it comes to customer problems. So in a way, if we lend them money, SME financing, we know how long it will take for them to pay back. That's first thing. Secondly, if they borrow money from us, we can channel all the best jobs to them so that they pay us back faster. And the third one is that we control the money. So for example, when the customer pays us, instead of waiting for the SME to pay us back, we can actually deduct the monthly installments from the customer payments. So we are in a very, very good position to be offering SME financing. So that's another sort of like, adjacent business where we are possibly able to earn money. We have been approached by many financing institutions in order to do invoice financing, that sort of thing. But we think that with the current volumes that we have, it is not going to be super significant yet. So we think that the end of 2023, when our growth trajectory continues, is when we will try to do that. We might launch it in Indonesia first because we have a lot of demand there and the margins are good. So you will see it in Malaysia towards the end of this year. Yeah, but great question.
We have a question from Eng. How much have we raised so far? I'm not sure if that means through this crowdfunding or from previous investors. You can answer both.
Okay, so how much have we raised so far? So in terms of the previous fundraising, we have done a few rounds, institutional as well as angel rounds earlier in the days. We have raised about $5 to $6 million to date. Okay, and this money has been used primarily to build the technology, right? Our technology platform is very mature. In both countries, we have a complete service management platform, marketing and sales, CRM, payments, scheduling, quality and trust, right? So the investment that we have raised so far is basically to establish a platform that is very, very customizable. So for example, we can add on technology, we can add on services, we can adjust the pricing for every single city. So imagine, right, every single city in Indonesia has a different price for aircon servicing, and we can do that as well. We can adjust for surcharge. So during Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, we have a surcharge on certain services. After the peak period, we remove the surcharge. We also have customization table for our margin. So depending on category, depending on budget of service, we charge our service providers different margin. Because we know that for example, a cleaning service is very high margin, but a repair service is not that high margin because there's a lot of materials involved, right? So we are able to adjust all these different things. And our platform is so mature, it can handle prepayments, post-payments, all sorts of different payments. There's a calendaring, scheduling, there's a quantity and trust. So when we establish into a new country, we won't actually have to review any of this. It's ready to use already. So the investments that we've raised in the past, as well as our blood, sweat, and tears these past 8 years, have brought us to the point where we are literally the #1 in Southeast Asia. We do not have any large competitors in any of the markets that we operate in. Apart from, maybe one player in Indonesia, right? That could be comparable. So I think, ready to take on the rest of Southeast Asia.
We have a question from Facebook Live. How many service providers are currently on board the platform?
Great question. So right now, let me close this one first. We have, let's say every month, say we bring in maybe 30,000 leads, right? New customers to the platform. In Indonesia and Malaysia together, we have about 4,000 to 5,000 active. And what active means is that within 1 month, they must accept one job, right, on our platform. That means they come in, they look at the service, they look at the jobs and all that, they must accept. But in terms of listed, we have tens and thousands. Why do we have so many listed, but only so few active? It is because of all the categories you can see in our website. If you go to our website right today, or even our app, you can see that we have home maintenance, home improvement, cleaning, and then we have another 8 different communities. Things like the training, courses, fitness instructor, then we have like property services. We have so many different communities. We have only monetized 2 or 3 out of maybe 15 different communities, right? That's why we only have 4,000 to 5,000 active, and then tens of thousands that are kind of like in pipeline waiting for us to expand to those categories. We feel that the 3 that we have selected is very, very good because of the monetization, the market size and all that. But we have a long pipeline of service provider ready to support us the moment we launch into those categories. All right. So during the pandemic, when Indonesia wanted to launch massage, obviously we thought they were crazy. I mean, that would be the last category I launched during a pandemic. But it expanded so fast because all the service providers were already lining up. And in, I think, the space of 2 or 3 months, we became the largest massage player in Indonesia. So having a good pipeline, right, helps us grow our business very, very fast. Yeah. Any other questions for anyone? I noticed
Yes, one more. What would be the next country we will go into to grow and become profitable?
Oh man, if I tell you this, I will have to kill you. No, but how we think about countries in Southeast Asia is like this. The countries that we pick needs to balance out growth as well as monetization. So countries that are very high on growth now, Indonesia is by far the largest, right, economy and the largest growth as well. Other countries that have always been very interesting to us is Vietnam, Thailand, not so much Philippines for personal reasons, but Vietnam and Thailand, right? So these 2 countries are showing a lot of potential. Culturally, quite similar to Indonesia and Malaysia as well, because the business community thinks in the same way, and the industry structure is the same way as well, right? Very fragmented, a lot of service providers everywhere, but yet people always say very hard to find contractors, right? It's true, right? And the other markets that would be good on the monetization is Singapore, right? So I haven't really told you much, but essentially this is how we are thinking of it. We must always balance the high growth markets as well as the markets that we can monetize very well. But markets that can monetize very well always have a lot of competitors one. So that is the pros and cons. Our technology can handle both, because Singapore, for example, is similar to Malaysia, and Thailand as well as Vietnam is industry structure wise quite similar to Indonesia as well. We have experience in those markets. That's why we're able to tell. Yeah. Thank you for the question, Veronica.
There are no other questions on social media.
Yeah. How about anyone on this call? Is there any questions you'd like to ask us? You know, can ask us anything. Very happy to answer all your questions. It's been, I think, 8-9 years we've been operating this, and we still feel very excited because every year we can see the industry changing. And honestly, we were a little bit early to the market. The growth and acceleration that we see is mostly in the last 4 years, when e-wallets became really prevalent and people started to pay online, right? So we didn't have to train all those uncles. When we first started, right, we literally had to train all those uncles how to use an app. Because we were like, oh, uncle, press this button, and the uncle's finger is too big, and then we need to make the button bigger. So there was a lot of teething problems when we first launched. But now, when you ask uncle to do something, without even, touching, without even calling him or whatever, he's already set up his business profile, already loaded his photos on, already given us, the reviews and everything. So things are so much easier now. That's why we have literally tens of thousands of service providers in our platform listed, right? So they sometimes get calls because they're listings, right? But we don't actively allow them to pick up customer jobs yet. So they're just there for the listing. Yeah. Any other questions? If there aren't, right, maybe let me summarize. Oh, by the way, my oven went crazy. Please send a repairman tomorrow. Okay, message us, okay, so that we can find a oven repair person for you. In Indonesia, we are partnered with Modena, one of the largest oven and kitchen hob and hood providers, and in Malaysia we have quite a few as well. So if your oven is spoiled, maybe we can get a special discount for you from Courts. So you can buy a new oven. So we can repair and we can also sell you a new oven. Okay, so I guess in summary, right, what we are is a technology platform that is aiming to really transform the service industry, right? The problem is still there, even though, we have been, at it for quite a few years. The problem is still there. The market is still big, but our technology is finally ready to be able to transform this market. We are balanced between a B2C kind of business with good cash flow, always prepayments, right? People always pay you first. We're always sitting on money. And a B2B business where it's very steady, but at the same time, the cash is always a bit slower than the revenue side of things, right? So we are very balanced between B2C, B2B. We are already number one in the market, right? So we have the brand name, we have the integrations with Grab, Shopee, all the big e-wallet players out there. People are always asking us to integrate, right? So we are already the biggest player in both markets. And we are now embarking on a growth, and our growth will be some part on the B2C side, improving the app, using AI to match customers and service providers well, and be able to make decisions wisely. We are also growing the B2B part, which means making the flow very smooth, right? When we work with Courts, Aeon, all our B2B partners, Alfamart in Indonesia, it's got about 17,000 branches, right? So that will require some customization to the system. And also we want to go deep in the aircon repair, the aircon repairs area. Yeah. So if you want to support us, Malaysian startup that's trying to really make a name regionally, and a player, one of the only players that have managed to become the #1 player in Indonesia, support us. The link, do you have the link? Yes, I believe the link to pitch in will be, Alex, do you have the link? Can we put it in the chat?
Yes, I already have.
Okay, so if you put if you click the link you'll be able to see our pitch in ECF, equity crowdfunding. If you invest by this week, you will get 30% extra shares. So if you invest 3 lots, you will get 1 lot for free, right? So your valuation is a lot lower and more attractive. So your returns will be much higher as well when you exit. So come and support us by this week. I believe Friday is the deadline. Betul lah. When are we? Yeah, I think Friday or at most like Monday or Tuesday next week, but it has to be before the end of May, right? Come and support us, and hopefully you can grow together. Thank you so much for spending your Tuesday evening with us, right? It's been very exciting for us, certainly. And message me. Wait, let me send you my number. So in case any of you don't have my number, you can contact me, right? 012-721-3038, right? So these are my contact details, and I can also send you the recording of this when this is over. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Alex, and thank you everyone on the call and everyone listening to us on social media. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.